What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We are getting a jump start on the new year. And today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days. Now, this is going to be mostly focused on the men because that's who I work with. I'm a nutrition coach, fitness coach. For the last 10 years, worked with thousands of men. And here's basically my top 5 free things that you can do to lose about 20 pounds in the next 30 days. So if that's something that you're interested in, you're in the right place. We're going to get into it. My head nutrition coach is going to join us at some point. And yeah, you should start now. Let's get a jump start in the new year. We're not going to wait until January like everybody else because these things are simple. They're not easy. They are simple. They are definitely not easy, but if you implement these 5 things in the next 30 days, I've seen hundreds of men lose between 15 and 20 pounds. Like, if you don't stick to it 100%, you're still going to lose 10 pounds. If you don't stick to it 60%, you're going to lose 5 pounds. But you will lose weight guaranteed in the next 30 days if you follow these 5. These are my top 5. Okay, so if you're ready, let's light this fuse and let's get into it. So these are my top 5. If you like this, I'll give you some extra tips, some bonus tips in the next one. But let's start at the top. For the next 30 days, no sugar. And I don't mean, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of added sugar, sugar substitutes. I'll eat all kinds of other stuff. No sugar. No sugar. You got to start reading labels. You got to completely avoid sugar. My top way to do that is just to go straight carnivore because it's so simple. You don't have to check if anything has sugar in it because there's no labels. It's an animal product. And if it's not an animal product, you don't eat it. And most animal products don't contain sugar. So you don't even have to worry about it. So carnivore, start off with carnivore, no sugar. That's my number one way to get it done. You can also do it paleo. You can also do it Whole30. They're a little bit more toned down. But for men over 30 days, if we're going hard to lose 20 pounds, then carnivore is the best way. And that Chick-fil-A peppermint milkshake has probably got 60 grams of sugar in it. So unless it's the Diet Chick-fil-A peppermint milkshake, might be a little bit less. But carnivore, that's one. Number one, no sugar. Easiest way, you just have to say, is it animal product? Yes or no. If it's animal product, it won't contain sugar. But you can do it a bunch of different ways. Paleo or Whole30 are 2 other ways that I recommend. Just a little bit more complicated. You're going to have to look at labels. You're going to have to maybe, double check things. And my number one question is, if you have to ask somebody if this is paleo or if this is Whole30, it's not. And if it's a paleo version, that's not what we're doing. We're going to eat real food and no sugar for 30 days. Number 2, my favorite one, lift heavy weights 3 to 5 per week, 3 to 5 times per week. And when I say lift weights, I'm not talking about bicep curls. I'm not talking about just dumbbell flies or shoulder raises. I'm talking big compound lifts. So I want you to squat, deadlift, and press. That's going to be your 3 times a week. And then any other big movements the other days. What we're trying to do is we're trying to boost your testosterone, which combined with the no sugar means that you'll reset your insulin and you'll boost your testosterone. So for men, especially, that's where you're going to see the biggest benefit. You're going to combine the no sugar with the boost in testosterone from lifting weights, and you're just going to start shredding body fat, right? That is number 2 on my list. I don't care how you do it, right? You can, if you got a home gym, go do it at home, right? Any place now has a squat rack, a deadlift bar, and you could press dumbbells. You can press barbells, but every gym now pretty much has that. Most, even if you live in an apartment gyms have that now, which is crazy. But you can also deadlift dumbbells, you can goblet squat dumbbells, but try and do them as heavy as you can. So like sets of 5 heavy, sets of 3, sets of 2. You don't want a 1 rep max every day, but stay in that 3 to 5, maybe 8 at the most rep range. Let's go heavy. Let's get that boost. And then you can build some kind of cycle, right? Of where you go like 5 3 1, 5 3 1, or something like that. But we want to lift heavy 3 to 5 times per week. If you're just starting, 3 times a week is going to be good enough. If you've been lifting for a while, you might bump it up to 4 or 5. But heavy, big hinging movements, right? Big compound lifts, not just biceps and triceps, right? We want to really boost that testosterone and get your body responding to these big lifts. So that's number 1, no sugar. Number 2, we've got big compound lifts 3 to 5 times per week. Number 3, if you're doing them things, the only thing I want you to focus on is your protein intake, right? So keep it really simple. 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight is what we're aiming for. If you're in kilograms, 1.8 to 2.2 per kilograms of body weight. So the way I like to do it is like, let's figure out in grams and pounds just because it's simpler, right? So let's say 1 gram per pound. So if you weigh 185, 185 grams of protein. If you're 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein, et cetera, et cetera. You're 220, 220, right? Just keep it as simple as possible. These 5 things want to be super simple. No sugar, carnivore is the simplest way. Deadlift, back squat, bench press, 3 to 5 times a week, easy. And then 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein. And then that's simple, right? If you add in a protein shake, you can just look on the back and you can see how many pounds you need to get you there. And then, yeah, you can start weighing your food, but I know most men are not going to do that over the next 30 days. So let's just get an idea of what a fist size amount of steak, chicken, fish, whatever kind of protein you want to eat is, and then roughly judged that if you're 170, 185 pounds, how many meals you need to get to that amount of protein, right? And that's the only thing I want you to track. As I work with more and more men, right, I want to track your protein and I want to track your fat. If you're doing carnivore, if you're doing paleo or Whole30 and you're eating a lot of meat, I don't really need to track your fat right now. I just want you to track protein so we don't overcomplicate it. You're probably going to be getting enough fat, right? And so no sugar, your insulin is going to start responding. Then we've got lifting heavy weights. Your testosterone is going to start rebooting. And you're also going to start feeling good from not eating sugar. And then when we add in the protein and the fat, you're going to start getting another burst of testosterone. And you're going to be supporting that testosterone production by eating more fat. And if you're eating really good meats, if you're eating fatty meats too, then you're going to be getting all of them essential fatty acids, which is going to, again, make you just feel, this is for men, this is going to make you feel good, right? So no sugar, lift heavy weights 3 to 5 times, eat 1 gram, let's just say 1 gram per pound of body weight, right? So keep it simple. And then that's rough. I don't need you necessarily weighing. If you are that kind of person that knows how to weigh, great. But just download MyFitnessPal and just start logging your protein and roughly aim to hit a gram per pound of body weight. The next way we're trying to get there quick is I want you to play with your meal timing. All right. I would like you to lift weights in the morning if possible. And if you're a dad, get your ass up, get to the gym before your kids wake up. So you've got no excuses why you didn't make it to the gym. And then let's work on that intermittent fasting. So what I would like you to do is fast for 16 hours and then eat in an 8-hour window, right? So I want to shorten the amount of time that you're eating so that you're not just grazing all day, right? Because we want to get there in the next 30 days. So I just want you not to be grazing on food all day, which is what we tend to do as a culture. So work out, get up, work out in the morning, and then find what window works for you. I would like you to work out without any food in your stomach, and then figure out, maybe you start eating around lunchtime and then you stop around, let's say, 7 or 8 o'clock. And that would be a nice, easy cycle for intermittent fasting. You don't have to overcomplicate it. All right, let's bring Caitlin in and I'll give her a little rundown of what I've been talking about. What's up, babe?
What up?
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So I've been given, I got a little echo. You can hear me good?
Yeah, is that me?
Okay. Yeah, just don't move it again. Keep it still.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Top 5 ways for men to lose 20 pounds in 30 days. All right.
Okay.
We start with no sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I said the easiest way is go carnivore. You don't even have to read a label. Then lift heavy weights 3 to 5 times per week. Squat, deadlift, press.
Mm-hmm.
Then 1 gram, keep it simple, per pound protein. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So just keep it simple. If you're 180, 180 grams. If you're 200, 200 grams. And then I've been talking about meal timing and intermittent fasting, so that you're eating in you're fasting for 16 and then you're feeding for 8. So you're not just grazing all day like most
Mm-hmm.
people do.
Right. I love all this.
Last one, might as well get to the last one. And then I'll let you get into it. Get outside and walk every afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can, especially if you're a dad, especially if you have a busy job, get out and work out early in the morning and work out fasted.
Mm-hmm.
Then eat around lunchtime. Sometime after lunch, try and get back outside and walk, so that we've got no sugar. So your insulin is, you're not insulin's responding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we're lifting heavy weights, testosterone boost. Eating
Yep.
more protein. And if you're carnivore, eating more fat, which we don't even have to track. We'll know you're eating more fat.
Yep.
You'll get your testosterone supported that way, your testosterone production supported that way. Intermittent fasting, another boost, hopefully, of testosterone, but also less opportunity for you to eat shit. And then get you outside, get you some vitamin D, get you walking, walk off that lunch, and keep burning all day. Get you into a fat burning, muscle building machine.
That's exactly what I want to be.
What do you think?
I think those are all great suggestions. I mean, people really, I hear it all the time recently. It's been like, oh, I'm watching my carbs, or I'm watching my fat, not too much sodium. But they're not really thinking about all these other things. They're just thinking about the fad diets, what they've heard, what they've been told. And a lot of times you see it happens. Men have man boobs because they're not eating enough protein and fat to actually support their testosterone.
Yeah.
So because personally, I think that if you're a man from the ages of 16 to 40 and you don't have a 6-pack or something close to a 6-pack, or you're just not in shape, you are completely wasting your testosterone. You're wasting it away.
Yeah.
Because when you do eat enough protein and you are eating enough fat, then your thyroid is producing enough, T4, and you have a lot more testosterone. I mean, it's scientifically proven, especially in the carnivore diet. I know you know this fact. It's when you're eating carnivore, what was the percentage that their testosterone would raise?
Honestly, I don't know that fact.
Because I think what it is your testosterone increases by 40% by consuming more red meat.
Oh, wow.
In men. Because you've got men already in
that's
their
the
30s.
reason. That's the reason I wanted to focus this one on men, is because we see when the men switch, it happens like this, right?
Yes.
Like that's why we separate men and women. That's why I work with the men mostly. You work with the women. I know you do work with some of the men, and I do work with some of the women, depending on their goals. But We separate them because you see the dramatic shift in men once they turn back on their testosterone production, right?
Yes.
Once they have enough, I think it's the fat, right? Like I think men, when we're eating low fat, it just doesn't support
No.
their testosterone production.
No.
So then you add that in, you combine it with the heavy lifting, and then you're eating enough protein to support it. You just see that, that boost of testosterone. And like you said, it almost happens like overnight.
Well, it's like you said, eating just enough protein per pound of body. A lot of times, it doesn't matter, men or women, you don't realize how much protein you're actually not eating when you're eating your meals. You might eat some eggs at breakfast. At lunch, you have maybe a grilled chicken breast. And for dinner, you're like, I'm going to eat a salad. And you've barely broken 100 grams of protein for the day. Well, that small amount of protein is just solely going to go towards taking care of the inside of you, your organs, your brain, your heart, your bodily functions. So then that means anything secondary, which are your hormones, are going to be, basically you're throwing them under the bus because your body's like, okay, I need to give everything that's being eaten to the most important things. And then there's nothing left for anything else. So that's why even when guys start to work out and they're like, why am I not seeing, many gains? And that's because you're still not eating enough to support making substantial gains.
Yeah.
You want to gain muscle? Okay, well, you need to eat enough protein just to support your body functions.
Yeah. I like what you said.
Started.
That is what we see right away is we do see right away. It tends to go to men's chest, right?
Like this.
Yeah. Most men, just from working out and just going through like teenage years and doing some of that stuff, have like a well-developed lower chest. They don't really have a well-developed upper chest because that's something you got to focus on. But that slowly, as you get into like having kids and like having a job and all, and you slow down a little bit and like your metabolism slows down a little bit, starts to become boobs, right? And like you said, we see them go from boobs to pecs, right?
Yeah.
We see it go from soft to getting harder around, like around the nipple area and getting more solid. And like, that's one of the quickest changes we see when people start following these 5 things.
Even the curvature of the body. You notice men go from being literally like Coke bottle shaped, like they come in on the sides.
I'd say they're like pear shaped.
Yes.
When they come in. Yeah.
They're pear shaped and then they start eating and you see them start boxing out.
Yeah.
How they should look.
Yeah. Like from pear shaped to V shaped, right? Like shoulders starting getting wider, chest starts coming out, and then your waist starts shrinking. Like the amount of people that follow this for 30 days and then they have to go get brand new pants because their waist just like falls away,
Oh yeah. We have people whenever, they start Ox 100 or they start their one-on-one coaching. In class, I'm like, hey, you might want to consider buying some new clothes. You're drowning in your clothes right now because their change is so substantial.
Yeah.
And
and these 5, like, this is if you like really want to attack the next 30 days. We build this in a little bit slower when we're working through 100 days. This is just like 5 really simple tips to get you going right away if you don't want to wait for the new year, if you want to get right at it. But like the way we build this in is like we have a whole process that makes it more sustainable, that you probably get to the end of 30 days of this, adding all these things at the same time. You might go back a little bit a week after. But the way we do it is like we slowly drip feed some of this stuff so that you don't notice you building on these new habits, right? 30 days all out, you're going to look great in 30 days. You're going to notice some changes, but this is a lot at once, like completely changing your nutrition probably for most people. A lot of training, you're going to be sore. Then you're tracking, when you eat and how much you eat. And then you got that extra get outside. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like I like going over 100 days and we're going to see more results over 100 days and we're going to make it a little bit more sustainable. And you're going to get, the full benefit of having a coach for that whole time, and like Kenny says,
it is life-changing.
Yeah. Because this is just like the physical stuff, right? This is just the
Mhm.
things that you change. But the way we tie on your habits into this stuff and the way we habit stack all that onto it, like we're not just gonna cut out sugar, we're gonna habit stack something else onto that. You're
Yep.
not just gonna lift weights, you're gonna set goals for lifting weights. You're not just gonna understand protein, you'll understand fat, you'll understand carbs, you'll understand carb cycling. And then intermittent fasting and all that stuff. If you enjoy it, you build it in. If you don't, you get rid of it. And then just understanding how you want to work out and what fits into your life is where we take you at the end of 100.
Right. And it's like you said, we've said it before, we've talked about it. It's not about restriction, because when you go super hard and you don't do this and you don't do that and you're just so like, when you do get that chance to come up for air and you breathe, you're like, oh, and everything just falls back.
Mm,
But if over time we're working together, it's not only changing your body, it's changing your mindset.
right.
People don't realize that that's really what happens until maybe they're about 60 days into the 100 days,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh well, this is easy. But then they're talking to somebody else and they're like, oh my god, that sounds so hard. Or how are you doing that? And you're like, oh my god, my the way you think about things is totally different. And
Yeah.
how you're approaching this challenge and how you're moving through that, and it makes it easier, like you said, to sustain these habits. So by being flexible, we're going to fail. There's going to be error, but it's great to fail. Okay, it didn't work that way. Well, we're going to do this. That's great. That's why it's awesome to have a coach.
Yep. Well, and that's what I like about these 5 things is, like you said, we're not taking anything away. Like these are all adding on to your life, right? Like there's no, if you go and try one of these paleo Whole30 diets, we're adding better food into your life. It's not like we're taking something away. We're
Mm-mm.
just taking away the shit, right?
Yeah.
If you go and lift, you're adding that strength into your life. If you eat the protein, you're adding the building block for life into your system.
Mm-hmm.
And then if intermittent fasting even feels like you're taking something away, but you're not, you're adding in that you can eat as much as you want in this 8 hours, but then you got to stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll
Yep.
then just feel better. Like if I don't eat in the mornings and I work out, I'm so much more focused. I'm so much more productive that first part of the day. And
Mm-hmm.
then I can eat whatever I want up until 8. You know what I mean? Like, but I add in that I'm more productive. I get more out of the day. And
Yeah.
I have a cup somewhere, which is one of my favorite cups. And it says, it doesn't say have a good day. It says have the day you deserve.
Yes.
Right. And I just think about that a lot, that like, I want you to have a good day, but do you deserve to have a good day?
Yeah.
Like, how
Right.
did you start your day? Why do you think you deserve to have a good day? I deserve to have a good day. I know if I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, start with a workout, I then fast, have some coffee, sit down, start be more mindful about how I want to start my day. What am I grateful for? Then I get into my work. Now I deserve to have the day that I want because I've started it the right way. If I roll out of bed late, I grab uh, a sugar-filled muffin and a mocha cappuccino. I don't deserve to have a good rest of the day,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what this does. It gives you the opportunity to have the day that you deserve and that day be worth something and worthwhile and you being on the track to be the person that you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And these 5 things, I said it in the start, they are simple, but none of them are easy.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people won't do it. But if you do it, you'll lose 20 pounds in 30 days.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like on the last podcast that you and Savannah talked about. We have the holidays coming up, and you have so many people right now just putting things off for the holidays. They're like, well, I can't start anything right now because, oh, there's Thanksgiving, there's
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. And it's like you said, Thanksgiving is 3 days at the most, Christmas at the most 3 days, Christmas
Mm-hmm.
Eve, Christmas Day, maybe the day after, and New Year's Eve and day, that's two. So 8 days out of 60 days,
Yeah. It
is
can be
why
8 days or it can be 2 months. It's
right,
up to you. You get to
right.
decide. Yeah.
And so that's what's stopping you from actually starting your goal instead of getting ahead, instead of being one of these new year, new me people
Yeah.
to be, and then you're thrown into that category of what was it? I talked about it in a podcast before. 100% of people will make a New Year's goal.
Mm-hmm.
Only 3% of that 100% of people will see through their goals.
Yep.
And the number, what astounds me the most is how many people quit within the first week. And I think it was somewhere between 80 to 85% of people won't last after the first week. And then 93% are done after the first like month. And then 7% make it towards close, but then only 3% end up achieving their goals.
Yep.
What does
So,
that say?
not holiday, not Holly week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So, if you enjoyed this, if you got something from this, like it, comment, let us know what you're going to do. But also, there's a link under this video for you to
Mm-hmm.
get started. If you want to change 2025, do not wait. Let's start now. Don't be a New Year's resolutioner. Start
Mm-hmm.
today and let's get you kick started so that you go into January almost at 100%. And
Yep.
then the rest of the year is going to be easy. So
Thanks.
that's it for today. Hope you enjoy them 5 tips. I will put them in the show notes so you can refer back to them. But get in touch. We'd love to work with you. And
Absolutely.
next week, let's do the top 5 tips for women.
Oh, I cannot wait. My favorite subject.
All right. That's a wrap. Thanks for
Let's
joining
go.
us. Thanks for commenting, Kendall, Chris, Savannah.